Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about a voluminous work, one that many readers are looking forward to, the Tale of Genji. It has around 1 million words. Though many have heard of it, they struggle to get through it. Now, when you open the Tale of Genji, this is how it begins. In a certain emperor's reign, the harem accommodates numerous concubines. Among them, a concubine without a noble birth was especially preferred by the emperor, while some concubines who, due to noble birth, came into the harem with high expectations, fully confident that they would win the emperor's preference, but seeing this inferior concubine's good fortune, they began to slander and envy her. Others with the same or lower title also knew they couldn't compete with her, so they were filled with resentment. This inferior concubine served the emperor day and night, making other concubines burned with jealousy. Perhaps since everyone has a common wish, this inferior concubine fell ill and, feeling melancholic, often returned to her family home for rehabilitation. The emperor missed her even more and doted on her even more, ignoring the slander of others and continuing to have a preference for her exclusively. If you've never heard of the Tale of Genji before, what would you think of after reading the above paragraph? Perhaps palace-struggling stories like the legend of Genhuan, right? It's just similar to the Tale of Genji. This story is set during Japan's Heian period. The excerpt I just read is from Feng Zikai's translation. We all know Feng Zikai has many titles: painter, writer, music educator, making him a true master of the arts. I really love his writing essays of Yuan Yuan Ho, which are innocent and fun, and he was also engaged in translation, such as the Tale of Genji and Turgenev's A Hunter's Sketches. All those books were translated by Feng Zikai. So why did he decide to translate the Tale of Genji? What kind of book is it? A talented woman, Murasaki Shikibu, and Japan's national treasure. The Tale of Genji. The Tale of Genji is written by a woman named Murasaki Shikibu. She was one of 36 immortal poets of Japan's classical period, a great talent of Heian period, and she served as a female official in the palace. During Heian period, Japanese culture was flourishing and highly developed, so Murasaki Shikibu studied Chinese poetry from a young age, was well versed in Chinese classics, and was skilled in music and painting. Murasaki Shikibu's The Tale of Genji is the world's first full-length novel. You may be surprised about this truth. It is her. Yes, in the West, there is Shakespearean research for Shakespeare. In China, there is Red research for A Dream of Red Mansions. In Japan, there is Genji research for The Tale of Genji. This book is considered a national treasure by the Japanese and is often regarded as Japan's A Dream of Red Mansions. Its writing style is unique, unprecedented, and unparalleled. Objectively speaking, compared to A Dream of Red Mansions, The Tale of Genji is actually more bold and open. It lies somewhere between A Dream of Red Mansions and The Plum in the Golden Vase. In 1966, UNESCO included Murasaki Shikibu among the world's great figures in its annual commemoration. Let's take a look at the story's beginning. The passage I just read starts with, "In a certain emperor's reign." This phrase is very vague. It doesn't refer to a distant past, nor is it precise. So, what period is it referring to? The ambiguity suggests a lack of knowledge about when it happened, aligning with the Japanese sense of subtlety. To an extreme degree, it could mean that the specific time doesn't matter at all. It's simply a past event that has already taken place. Have you ever noticed that A Dream of Red Mansions is just like this? When I discussed A Dream of Red Mansions with you, I mentioned that both space and time are blurred. Very clever. Similarly, in the Tale of Genji, this beginning suggests that the story could take place in any period, and it can happen on any ordinary person. This is one of the key reasons why the Tale of Genji has endured over time. It resonates with our emotions and connects with the life around us. Also, who exactly is the female protagonist mentioned at the beginning? It's not made clear at all whether she's a concubine or an inferior concubine, what her name is, or what she looks like. This differs entirely from the storytelling methods of previous monogatari tales. This was innovated by Murasaki Shikibu. So what is the story of the Tale of Genji about? Let's look at the title. Genji is the protagonist's name. Originally, he was a prince, and his mother was the inferior concubine who was envied by others. Due to her unnoble birth but inclusive preference, and because she gave birth to a son, she was constantly attacked by others. Later, his mother passed away early, and the emperor felt that it was too dangerous to raise this little boy in the harem. Unable to protect him properly, the emperor sent the child out of the harem, lowered his status to that of a subject, and gave him the surname Genji. This book tells the story of this prince's life. The term monogatari in the title refers to a genre, roughly meaning storytelling, similar to a legends or a tale, like the legends of Tang Dynasty or scripts of Song Dynasty in Chinese literature. Now that we understand the title, let's look at its background. The novel is generally believed to have been written between 1001 and 1008, during Japan's unique Heian period, which corresponds to the early Northern Song period in China. So, this long novel predates the Divine Comedy by 300 years, Hamlet by 600 years, and A Dream of Red Mansions by 700 years. It's also a chapter-style novel, consisting of 54 chapters, or books, totaling nearly 1 million words. The story spans the reigns of 4 emperors, Emperor Kiritsubo, Emperor Suzaku, Emperor Reizai, and the current emperor, and covers over 70 years, involving more than 400 characters. Doesn't it remind you of A Dream of Red Mansions? About 20 or 30 characters leave particularly profound impressions. We usually divide the Tale of Genji into 3 parts. The first part tells the story of Genji, a young prince who rises to become the emperor's father. You feel so weird. Why? Wait for the explanation. The second part tells the story of Genji's lifetime until his death. The third part tells the story of Genji's descendants after his death. Let's briefly summarize these 3 parts. The first part is about Genji's biological mother, Lady Kiritsubo, who died early. Genji develops an intense attachment to his mother, and what does he do? He falls in love with a woman who looks very much like his mother. This woman happens to be his stepmother, his father's consort, named Fujitsubo. Genji later engages in an illicit relationship with Fujitsubo, resulting in the birth of an illegitimate son. This son eventually ascends the throne as Emperor Reizai. Genji then rises to power, becoming the actual emperor's father. The first part primarily focuses on Genji's romantic entanglements with various women, essentially chronicling his coming-of-age journey. The story in the second part is vastly different from the first. What does it tell? By this time, Genji has amassed great power. The third princess, daughter of a former emperor, marries him, thus holding a noble birth. However, their marriage is not a happy one. Why? Because Genji harbors feelings for someone else, and there is no real love between the two of them. The princess, deeply troubled by this, has a secret affair with another man, eventually giving birth to an illegitimate child. When Genji discovers the infidelity in his marriage, he is devastated. Reflecting on his own illicit affair with Fujitsubo years earlier, he feels as though he is now reaping the consequences of his past actions, which greatly troubles him. This tangled web of relationships leaves everyone involved deeply unhappy, with a tragic ending. The second part largely focuses on the personal turmoil of each character. The third part of the Tale of Genji actually narrates the story of Genji's illegitimate son, Kaoru, and Genji's grandson. What does it want to tell? If the first part describes Genji's growth, the second part focuses on the troubles of adulthood, and the third part conveys that everyone makes mistakes and seeks redemption. Let's delve deeper into this novel. In my opinion, 2 aspects of the novel are particularly impressive. The first is a uniquely Japanese cultural concept called mono no aware, and the series of aesthetics derived from this concept, which I will explain in detail later. Well, the second aspect is Genji's appealing and unconventional romantic relationships. Many of these relationships are utterly unacceptable by normal criteria, since